Hello and welcome again to my channel. Today I am sharing with you 2 canvases that I recently completed for a family friend whose dad recently passed away. I created these 2 canvases, one for her and one for her mom, Mr. Milton's wife. The only requirement I had for these were that they included the color blue. Royal blue was his favorite color, as well as appliances, since he was a HVAC repairman by trade. So I hope you enjoy watching how I created both of these canvases and maybe learned something along the way. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and please subscribe so you don't miss any future projects. And if you have any questions, please leave it down below in the comments. Thanks for watching and enjoy. I apologize for the length of this video. In advance, I'm letting you know that this is a fairly long video because I am trying to show you 2 canvases, the process for both canvases in this one video, which is very hard to make in half an hour or under. The first thing I did was coat all of the images with Mod Podge, just so that it can protect them and the images can last longer. I then applied a coat of gesso, white acrylic gesso, so that it can coat the canvas and prime it to get it ready for me to apply layers of water, paint, paper, whatever I need to over it. Here I will apply Ranger's Multi-Medium Matte Glue. And then a coat of clear gesso so that it can protect the paper and prevent it from warping when I apply water or paint over it. Once I decide on a stencil, I apply crackle paste to it so that once it dries cracked and gives it a different type of texture. Once I decide on the images I will place in the canvas, I cut out pieces of cardboard for the backing of each image to raise it up. And then I apply Versamark ink with embossing powder for a stamp that I want to add to the canvas. This is the part on each project where you want to take out all your embellishments and start laying them out on the canvas to decide what goes well with the canvas and the theme and the type of canvas you want to put together. Once the crackle paste that you apply all over the stencil dries out is when you want to add any type of water or paint with water over it so that it doesn't damage the image that is placed on with that texture paste or crackle plate paste. I here found a small container and added water and a bit of Lindy's magical shakers in the Bavarian blue color to apply with a brush over the stencil. And then I sprayed water to spread it out a bit. As you can see, in order for me to speed things up, since I'm working on 2 canvases at once I need to allow a canvas to dry, I put it aside and grab the second canvas to do the next step on that, and vice versa. So I keep switching back and forth in order to continue working on both canvases on the same day. What you see me doing here is adding washi tape to tape the leaves of each of these flowers onto the paper so that once I spray them with the color that I want the flowers to be, the leaves do not get wet by that color and remain green. I will remove the tape afterwards, and what I'm left with is the new color on the rose, but then the green of the leaves. I'm adding some pitch black impasto paste, which is a black acrylic type of paint, over the edges of this image that's raised up by that texture paste, that crackle paste, to accent the image and give it a shade around it so that it can kind of bring out more of that image. I'm sorry that here some of the recording was out of frame. My camera was not zoomed into that spot, so I apologize. I am just applying some embossing powder over some of the embellishments that will go over the canvases. Now off camera, I stamped all of those Spanish sentiments you see here using my own stamp line. This stamp line was made by my sisters and I. It's called Evermore Decor. I stamped using my very much loved Versamark ink, which is a clear sticky ink. And I've embossed them with this Darice Whispers glitter embossing powder, which is gold and glittery. The first sentiment I used is Mi Ángel from this angel stamp set. It says my angel. I then used this other stamp set, this butterfly stamp set, Mariposa Monarca. And from here, I ended up using this sentiment here that says, sé feliz, which means be happy. And in this case, I meant be happy up in heaven. On this one, I used the you are very special, eres muy especial. From this one, I ended up using the I want to hug you, quiero abrazarte, which is here. I also used here the te adoro, which is I adore you. Now, this other stamp set, I used the you illuminate my world, tú alumbras mi mundo, right there. From this Christmas stamp set, I used the word I love you, te quiero mucho, I love you very much. From this stamp set, I used the I miss you sentiment. From this sun stamp set, I used the eres único, which says you are unique. From the father stamp set. And on this one, I ended up using this sentiment here, which says, I appreciate all of your love. There it is. Te agradezco todo tu amor. Now I'll be using my Misty stamping tool to stamp with archival ink, which is waterproof, and it is made by Ranger, a bunch of images. Here I am using, I think I want to use a couple of these images, maybe a couple of these leaves, and these florals somehow within these two canvases. I'm definitely planning on using this large flower bloom type of stamp, and from this one I plan on, I believe, using this portion of the image. This stamp set is called ST 1916 More Modern Floral Frame by Avery L. And I'll be cutting with the die the floral part here. This one is from Pink Fresh Studio. It's the Blooming Branch set, and I also plan on die cutting that beautiful floral image. Here, this one is from Altenew, and it's their inspirational quotes stamp set. And I also plan on die cutting some of the images out of here. So I'm gonna speed this through because I'm sure most of you already know how this goes. I plan on using the Hammermill premium color copy cover paper, which is nice and white, bright white and smooth, to stamp these images on the Misty. So here we go. Okay, now I plan on stamping a couple of images, a couple of sentiments, and not yet sure how I will add these to Mr. Milton's daughter's canvas, but I plan on using the W+9 wishing you sentiments. This sentiment here that says, I couldn't have wished for a better father. Here I plan on using the You Mean the World to Me from Sizzix, the word labels. And here I plan on using My Favorite Things, Deepest Sympathy, Holding You in My Heart. All these sentiments are, I find very heartfelt, and they are perfect for the feelings that a daughter would feel for her dad. I plan on using those on that canvas, and that canvas is using English sentiment. So I will use my Misty again. Start with this. I have that same Hammermill paper here. I'll use that. Let's see, I'll hold it here. Okay. I plan on using the same Darice embossing powder that I use for the Spanish sentiments. And that is, let me find it once again. That is this one here. As you can see, it's very shiny and gold. It's very glittery. It's the Whispers Glitter Embossing Powder by Darice. These I purchased, I'm sure, a very long time ago. Not sure if that is still around. But I will use this sentiment. Holding you in my heart. This, you mean the world to me. Let's stamp this one here. Let's do it here. And this W+9 sentiment, I couldn't have wished for a better father. I will put this together here. And because these are going to be embossed, I will use the Versamark ink. Let's see if I can get that in the frame. Also using here an anti-static embossing powder, so that the powder doesn't stick to any other area other than where you want it to. I like getting a crisp image. And sometimes it's best if you only stamp it once, but to get better results, sometimes you have to at least stamp it twice. And you can see, when you can see the clear embossing, it might be hard for you to see it on camera, but you can see it here a little. It's a little darker than the white paper. As long as you can see it, that's good enough. And you can then emboss it with the powder, heat emboss it. So I will take those out and heat emboss it. I use my Wow embossing heat gun, and This one has 2 settings, low and fast. Number 2 is a little faster than number 1. Number 1 is a low heat setting. I'll go with the high heat setting. Heats up pretty quick. I find that when I emboss from below the paper, underneath the paper, it embosses much cleaner and it turns out much shinier than when I emboss from above. So that's what I'll do. I'll emboss from below as soon as the heat gun is warm enough, which it is now. I'll give it in circles here. Move it around so the paper doesn't warp that much or burn until the powder melts. Let it shine, that's done. Let's do it on this one. Those are done. So I am gonna try and stamp this sentiment again, but with the word Father going in the right direction. So apologies for that. I did forget to use this one. I meant to use the I Never Forget You sentiment from Hero Arts, this Operation Right Home stamp set. So I'll also use that one. I'm not sure if I'm gonna just stamp it onto the canvas or if I'll do it in gold. So I'll just emboss it in gold, and then if I want it in black, I will stamp it in the canvas in black. Here I'm using the Tim Holtz Tonic paper trimmer to trim all of the sentiments out. Then I used a circle die to die cut the You Mean the World to Me sentiment. I painted those beads with the Metallique Art Alchemy Deep Waters acrylic paint. Now it's the fun part, which is adding all of the final touches to the canvases, adding all the sentiments, adding here using the multi-media matte glue. I am gluing, adding cardboard behind all the sentiments to give them dimension. And then I'll be adding the rocks that I colored using the same colors from my canvas. And I will spread them around the canvas in different areas. Here I'm applying the art stones over the canvas in different areas. For this I use the multi-matte medium glue as well as a brush. Just any small brush will do. I tried making the colors combine with the image of Mr. Milton. His shirt has a kind of reddish collar, and so the flowers that I painted as well as these art stones are similar to that collar, just to tie in the picture with the canvas. Now I'm protecting the photo and the sentiments from the splatters that I will make, white splatters with the white gesso, acrylic gesso. And this is the completed first canvas that is for Mr. Milton's daughter. I hope you like it. And now I'm moving on to the second canvas, which will be Mr. Milton's wife's canvas, using all Spanish sentiments. Here I am using a stencil with some texture paste to add a leaf. And now I'll use this Stamping Up Gorgeous Grunge stamp set to use some of these splatters and dash lines here for the background of this canvas. I will also use in the background this Finnabair Messy stamp set on the left here. For a bit of added texture and depth, I decided to add some tissue paper onto the background here. So I hand cut a piece of tissue paper and wrapping paper, tissue paper, and added some water and glued it together with that multi-matte glue, adding the metallic deep waters color over it. I added some gold splatters using Art Alchemy's Sparks Unicorn's Hair paint, acrylic paint, using that same grunge stamp set, that splatters stamp specifically. And this is a completed second canvas. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and liked both of these canvases. I look forward to creating more projects and making more video tutorials. I thank you for watching, and please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you don't miss the next project. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end of this long video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a blessed day.